As we prepare for our Seders, one of the many songs and highlights of the Seder is the song of Dayenu. Dayenu, Dayenu. And everyone gets into it and they're singing and they're dancing. It's all exciting. And we're thanking God for all these beautiful things. You know, like, thank you, God, for giving us the 10 plagues. If you just did that and nothing else, that would have been enough. And Dayenu. And if you would have just, taken us out of Egypt, but not split the sea, that also would have been enough. And if you would have split the sea for us, but then left us in the desert, that would have been enough too. And if you would have given us the Torah, but not taken us into Israel, that would have been enough. And it's like, oh, thank you. It's so beautiful. And seemingly such a lie, because none of that would have been enough. I mean, if God would have gave us the 10 plagues, but then left us in Egypt to be tortured and to die, that really wouldn't have been enough. Or if God would have taken us out of Egypt, but then we drowned in the water, that also really would not have been enough. And if we get past the sea and it's split, then we starve in the desert, that also wouldn't have been enough. So what? It's like fake news. What is this song about? So to help explain it, I want to share a story from a show, actually a TV show, since it was referenced before, a show called Touched by an Angel. And the show depicts angels that interact with humans, usually disguised as humans themselves, which actually Judaism believes in that concept. And in this particular episode, there was a village that was suffering. They were struggling. There was a drought. People were dying. Animals were dying. And it was just a very sad situation. And the village was essentially going to disappear. And before it did, the townspeople got together and said, you know what? Before we go out, we're not going out with a fight. They brought a lawsuit to sue God for what he had done to the village. They said, this way, before we go down, we'll cry out. And as divine providence and wisdom would have it, God sent an angel to defend him in court, disguised as a lawyer. And everyone was surprised to see this lawyer walk in to defend God, but sure enough, all of her credentials were in order, everything checked. And the judge said, okay, fine, you could represent God. So the prosecutor starts blasting God and everything that's happened and all the terrible things in this village and all the suffering. And then when the defense attorney got up, this angel started sharing the amazing beauty of God. And she, of course, even knew some insights into different people's lives and explained, oh, that person that's short, you know how that helped you because you were able to crawl under the cave and to save that child as a result. And you had this and that helped you do that. And went on and on about the amazing miracles and how each thing that seemed like a deformity was really a gift. And it was very touching. But then during the cross-examination, the prosecutor just attacked this angel, just case after case. This happened to me. You don't think that's suffering? And this happened. You don't think that's suffering? You don't think I'm hurting? You don't think I'm in pain? And the angel broke down crying. She said, no, I know you're in pain. I know. And she lost it. She's crying hysterically. And the judge said, let's take a recess. And she heads out into the field, completely crying, full of tears. And she says, dear God, I want to thank you for this day, this hot, miserable, disgusting, terrible day in which I've been totally and utterly humiliated. Because if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have a day at all. The idea of being able to say thank you for the big things and for the small things. Dayenu is about saying thank you for everything that we have, for every blessing. Yes, of course it wouldn't have been enough if we only got some of the plagues, or if we were left to drown in the water. We needed everything. But it was enough to say thank you. Each thing that God did was deserving of our gratitude, deserving of our thanks. And the same thing is true in our own lives. We all have challenges. We all have struggles, things that aren't going the way that we wanted. And it's so easy to get focused on all of the bad and all of the challenges. But there's so much good. We have eyes to see with, ears to hear with, a mouth to talk, legs to walk, air to breathe. We have so much. And perhaps one of the ideas of Passover is for us to say thank you. Thank you for all the many blessings. So I'd like to suggest that maybe one technique that a person could use. We have 8 days of Passover. outside of Israel. Each day, take a little diary and write down 5 things that you're grateful for. 5 things that God did for you that you have in your life that you appreciate. And each of the 8 days, pick another 5 things. At the end of the holiday, we'll have 40 gems that we could focus on to remind us just how good we have it. So even when challenges come our way, we can remind ourselves that we have so much good and so much to be thankful for. I want to give a blessing to all of us that our lives become full with blessings and that we have the vision to see the blessings and gifts that we have every single day, to appreciate them, to recognize them, to internalize them, and to thank our Creator for them. And along these lines of being thankful, I want to thank all of you for coming together, for allowing us to learn together and to grow together.